The series begins with the Mandalorian arriving on the icy planet Pagadon, tracking his latest bounty to a remote settlement. Inside a public house, a bearded human trawler and a Quarren are roughing up a blue-skinned Mithril, who desperately pleads for his life in Galactic Basic and offers credits in exchange for mercy. The bearded trawler ignores the offer, intent on killing him for his valuable musk. Before they can do more harm, an armored, masked Mandalorian steps into the bar. Speaking in Huttese, the bearded trawler tells the newcomer that he has spilled his drink. Djarin remains silent and calmly approaches the counter while the bartender translates the insult into Basic. Nearby, the Mithril struggles to break free, but is forced back down by the Quarren. The two trawlers soon shift their attention to Djarin, eyeing his Beskar armor with interest. Though the bartender attempts to diffuse the tension by offering a drink, a fight erupts. Djarin swiftly knocks the bearded human to the ground, and when the Quarren tries to flee through the cantina doors, Djarin trips him with a fiber cord whip. The Quarren fires his blaster, but the bolt strikes Djarin's pauldron harmlessly. Djarin then shoots the door controls, causing the closing panels to slice the Quarren in half. After the confrontation, the Mandalorian presents the Mithril with a bounty puck. Relieved, the Mithril thanks him and offers to buy him a drink, but Djarin instead reveals a hologram confirming the Mithril's status as a wanted fugitive. As the Mithril insists it is all a misunderstanding and attempts a desperate bribe, the scene delivers its first truly iconic line, Djarin, calm and unshaken, stating he can bring him in either warm or cold. Djarin lands on Arvala 7 and is ambushed by a pack of blurgs. Just as he's about to be overwhelmed, tranquilizer darts take the creatures down. An Ugnaught named Queel appears, warning that past hunters have failed, and offering to guide Djarin, asking only for a blurg as payment. Djarin struggles to mount a blurg at first, refusing to remove his helmet, but with Queel's guidance, he finally tames the creature and prepares to continue toward the encampment. Djarin reaches the encampment in the valley and surveys it through a telescope, spotting armed mercenaries and an IG-series droid, IG-11. The droid demands the asset from the Nikto sentries under Guild protocol, gunning down those who resist. When Djarin approaches, IG-11 initially fires on him, but he convinces the droid that they are fellow bounty hunters. They agree to split the bounty and join forces. Together, Djarin and IG-11 take out gunmen on rooftops and inside the compound. As reinforcements arrive, IG-11 wants to self-destruct, but Djarin persuades him to provide cover while he unlocks a blast door. When a Nikto fires a hovering laser cannon at them, Djarin uses a grappling cable to seize it, eliminates the gunner, and clears the remaining hostiles, while IG-11 disengages his self-destruct. Though wary of droids, Djarin respects IG-11's combat skills and checks on the droid's blaster damage. After confirming it is unharmed, they use a laser cannon to blast open the final door, and Djarin eliminates the last sentry. Inside, IG-11 sensors lead Djarin to a silver pram containing the asset, an infant of the same species as Yoda. When Djarin expresses confusion about its age, IG-11 calmly explains that different species age differently, a quiet but striking revelation that underscores the mystery and wonder of the child. IG-11 reminds him that he was ordered to terminate the target, but Djarin refuses, insisting on bringing the child back alive. When IG-11 moves to carry out his instructions, Djarin shoots the droid to protect the infant and takes the child into his care. The Mandalorian finds Jawas dismantling the Razor Crest and pursues them onto their sandcrawler, but they overwhelm him with ion blasts and knock him unconscious. When he wakes, he discovers the ship completely stripped, leaving him and the child stranded on Arvala 7. When the Mandalorian returns to Queel, the Ugnaught suggests trading with Jawas. Upon agreeing to retrieve an egg for the Jawas, they take the Mandalorian, Queel, and the child to a rocky canyon where the Mandalorian enters a cave and confronts a powerful mudhorn. The beast overwhelms him in battle until the child unexpectedly uses the Force to hold the creature in place, allowing the Mandalorian to kill it with his vibro knife. Exhausted from the effort, the child falls asleep, and the Mandalorian retrieves the Mudhorn's egg as proof of the kill. After the child is successfully retrieved by IG-11, Din Djarin faces Moff Gideon upon his Outland TIE fighter and successfully plants a detonator which causes his ship to crash. Though Djarin and his comrades won the fight against Moff Gideon and his troopers, at the end of the scene, several Jawas begin scavenging the wreckage of Moff Gideon's TIE Outlander, only to be startled when a laser slices through the hull. Gideon emerges from the ruined fighter wielding the Darksaber, the ancient blade that embodies Mandalorian power and rule. Helping the people of Mos Pelgo and the Tusken Raiders with their Krayt Dragon problem, Djarin and Grogu accompany Vanth, the Marshal, and the Tuskens to confront the beast. Djarin, Grogu, Vanth, and the Tuskens observe a Krayt Dragon's lair and learn the Tuskens' method of pacifying it with a bantha. Later, the Tuskens reveal a plan to confront the massive dragon, which involves Vanth's village, though Vanth remains wary of cooperating with them. A lone Tusken confirms the Krayt Dragon is sleeping while Grogu watches. The Tuskens and townsfolk prepare a coordinated trap, planting explosives at the cave and forming a horseshoe of ballistae to lure the dragon outside. When the Krayt Dragon emerges, it resists their attacks, but Djarin and Vanth coordinate the assault, using explosives, ropes, and their jetpacks to maneuver the beast. Djarin faces the Krayt Dragon head-on, jetting through the air atop a bantha as the monstrous creature lunges to devour him. With precise timing and fearless resolve, he bursts from the dragon's gaping jaws like a shadowy ninja and triggers the explosives, unleashing a massive eruption that topples the legendary beast. Every flinch, roar, and swing of the creature is met with Djarin's unyielding skill, turning the impossible battle into a defining, larger-than-life triumph that cements his status as a warrior of legend. While the child meditates upon the Seeing Stone on Tython, Boba Fett approaches Din Djarin, seeking his armor, which Din Djarin had acquired from Cobb Vanth on Tatooine. Initially thinking Fett wants his own armor, Din threatens to fight him to the death. Fett clarifies he is reclaiming his own armor passed down from his father, Jango Fett. Din questions Fett's allegiance to the Mandalorian creed. Fett says he answers to no one, while Din insists the armor belongs to the Mandalorians. Tensions rise, but Fett points out that Fennec Shand, perched with a sniper, has the child locked in her sights. Din threatens to use his whistling birds, but both lower their weapons to negotiate. Fett explains that both he and Shand were left for dead on Tatooine, and now fate has brought them together. Shand pledges loyalty to Fett. In the end, Fett demands the return of his armor, but offers to guarantee Grogu's safety, emphasizing that it's a fair deal under the circumstances. A third Imperial shuttle arrives, scattering the fighters. Din Djarin rushes to Grogu, who is trapped inside a rising force field, but is pushed back when he tries to enter. Meanwhile, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand take positions on nearby rocks and engage the stormtroopers. Shand takes out multiple enemies using clever maneuvers, while Fett ambushes troops with his Gadurfi stick, defeating the commander and several soldiers in hand-to-hand combat. As reinforcements arrive, Shand and Djarin team up. Djarin uses his whistling birds to clear the path, protecting Grogu, who collapses after exhausting himself channeling the Force. Boba Fett soars back into battle in full Mandalorian armor, jetpack roaring as he cuts through stormtroopers with lethal precision. Every blaster shot lands with deadly accuracy. With a calculated missile strike, he destroys one Imperial shuttle, sending it careening into the other in a fiery collision. Smoke and flames rise as the remaining Imperial forces flee in terror, leaving the battlefield to the heroes. Din Djarin compliments Fett for his marksmanship, and Fett, ever cool and unflappable, quips with dry humor, "I was aiming for the other one." While in search of other Mandalorians, Din Djarin and the child travel aboard a fishing vessel when a group of Quarren tricks Grogu into being taken by a massive sea creature, the Mamacor. Djarin jumps in after the creature but is trapped by the Quarren, who try to steal his armor and drown him. Suddenly, jetpack-wearing Mandalorians descend, fighting off the attackers. A female Mandalorian frees Djarin, jumps into the water, and retrieves Grogu's damaged cradle, saving the child. The three reveal themselves as Bo-Katan Kryze, Casca Reeves, and Axe Woves, marking a dramatic Mandalorian intervention and tying Din's quest to the larger Mandalorian story. After landing on Corvus and meeting with Morgan Elsbeth, Din Djarin and Grogu journey deep into the woods to find a Hoskatano. While scouting the area, Din Djarin places Grogu on a rock and surveys the surroundings. Suddenly, he is ambushed by the legendary Ahsoka Tano. The two clash briefly, Djarin blocks her strikes with his vambraces and uses his flamethrower to singe her cloak. He traps her with his whipcord, but Ahsoka escapes with a force-powered jump, flipping Djarin aside. Before the duel escalates, Djarin explains he was sent by Bo-Katan Kryze. Seeing Grogu, Ahsoka's expression shifts to surprise and delight, confirming her interest is in the child. That evening, Ahsoka Tano sits with Grogu in a quiet clearing and connects with him through the Force, uncovering his past. She reveals to Din Djarin that the child's name is Grogu. He was raised and trained in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant before the Clone Wars, learning from many Jedi Masters. Hidden from the Empire for years, Grogu's memories are dark and filled with fear. Ahsoka also reflects that she had only ever met one other of his kind, Grand Master Yoda. After defeating Moff Gideon upon his cruiser, Din Djarin and his comrades are saved from Gideon's dark troopers, but by a hooded figure with a lightsaber. Din Djarin stands before the sealed blast doors, tense and ready. He orders them open, but Fennec Shand hesitates, thinking he's lost his mind. With a determined glance, Din pushes the controls himself. The doors creak and slide open, and a figure steps through the light. A hooded presence, calm and resolute, surveys the scene. Slowly, the hood pulls back, revealing the face of a legend. The Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker. Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians clash with Gideon's armored commandos above the Imperial base as Djarin, Grogu, and IG-12 confront Gideon within. Blaster fire proves useless against his Beskar armor, and Praetorian guards nearly overwhelm Djarin until Grogu unleashes the Force, shifting the balance of the battle. As Kryze duels Gideon with the Darksaber, the conflict surges toward its breaking point. In the hangar, Gideon overpowers Kryze and shatters the Darksaber, declaring Mandalorian strength an illusion. But Djarin strikes from behind, forcing Gideon to the brink just as the burning Mandalorian cruiser plummets from the sky and impales the base in a storm of fire and collapsing steel. With the Inferno swallowing everything in its path, Grogu steps forward and raises his hand, holding back the raging flames and falling destruction in a glowing force barrier that shields Djarin and Kryze. As Gideon is consumed by the fire beyond the shimmering light, the moment becomes a silent, awe-filled testament to the child's true power and the Mandalorian's hard-won victory.